Hello, welcome back. Last time I solved the last secret in the shrine, then came here and flailed around with tar stuff for a while. I just spent a whole bunch of time messing around on my own. I had a few ideas I wanted to try out, but they ultimately led nowhere. I tried some variants on the strategies I did last time. I did notice one thing that I wanted to point out. These hallways are too wide, and it is possible to carve them out in some way like this, and grow some tar inside them, which lets me get the tar slightly farther back than, like, say, this corner. I was always focusing on the north corners for some reason and hadn't tried growing tar down here. Now, I can't have it grow, like, fully into a place like this on both sides and be able to get out of the room. That would just trap me. But I tried that and still found this unmanageable. So I have a couple of secrets in the crypt I can look at. I wanted to... Let me spend just a very brief moment poking at this just to say that I have. I want to get a super quick feel for it. So if I were to take a strategy kind of like the one I used for the tar room, this is what that ends up looking like. Oh right, so I have to cut this differently for... Okay. See, I can make shapes like that, which I couldn't do with the tar so much. Maybe I'll get super lucky and this will be way easier somehow. And I'll learn something that I can apply to the tar room and I'll get everything done. And everything will be awesome. So standing at the corner of mud when it grows is nowhere near as useful as it is for tar. Okay, so... Just getting a little bit of a feel for this, this seems like it's going to be about managing the surface area of mud that I have to deal with. And yeah, it feels very different from tar. It's not oppressive in the same way. So that was pretty efficient there. Made good use of my time. Yeah, so basically I'm gonna peel off a seed of mud for each corner. I want to keep that alive. And try to maintain as small a blob in that corner as I can. So this will become the seed for, how about both of those? Well, no, I can't, because I can't cut the flat surface on the way there. Okay. But it's much easier to clean up stuff like that when it happens. Where do I want to be right now? Maybe I want to prevent some of this. Because I did block 2 bits of mud from growing there, kind of. So I do have to do one at a time. I can't do everything all at once. See, I might as well just stay here and keep working on this, because going up there just doesn't make that much sense. Okay. This actually doesn't seem so bad so far. However, oh yeah, it's becoming bad. I have a 0 turn... distance here. Yeah, okay, so that's the hardest little corner to get through. Okay, so that's all rescued. Now I need to work on this. I don't have time, do I? Not quite. Can I somehow create time? Just barely? Wow. Okay, well, I haven't lost yet. This is not unmanageable, that's all still possible. Okay, so I need another seed. I can't really pay much attention to this. I guess that works. No, I think I've lost because there's no way I can possibly get to all the places now. Okay, so did I have an opportunity to save that? Let's see. I needed to do all the stuff that I did here, pretty much. Exactly as I did it. I mean, maybe I can be a little bit more efficient. Like, I did not have a lot of turns to spare for him. In fact, I did that worse. What if I do something like this? That might be better. I think it gives me a little bit more time to deal with this stuff. But, like, I need to be over here and messing with that already. Okay, well, that went okay. Okay, so if I shave this a certain way, like I'm trimming down this edge because I'm going to be up in this area and I'll be closer to this so I can mess with it more easily. However, since I'm here, I might as well just do some of that. Yes. Alright, so I have a couple of hazards here. I don't think I have time to take care of all of them. And the thing is, like, I'm just in firefighting mode now because I have too many fires. Well, let's see here. What if I take care of this before I mess with that? Because, like, I don't have any fires that are burning too hot right there. Okay. Like, I don't want to be just barely surviving here, and also I need to pull out some mud like this? Not like that. Okay, so if I want that to happen, maybe it'd be better to do it from here. Okay, that's not very good, actually. That's quite terrible, because I would have to do this, and then get up here and do these things, which is just not enough time. Okay. So instead of that... So where have I gone wrong with this approach? Actually, I think I know. I have an idea. I can manage this differently. So watch this trick. If I stand in the right place, like here-ish, I can let the mud grow around me and create a split in it. Having done that, those two will become the mud that grows over those plates simultaneously. So I created 2 seeds. Okay, so if I can manage 2 seeds at once, then things will be good. Why am I messing with this? I have much more important things to do. That can actually just stay exactly as it is. I would rather protect this area? Okay, now hang on. I need to keep those separate. What will this do? That? Okay. Might... So this is what I want to do, but I need more time to do it. I need this to not be quite so huge. So, okay. Let me maintain... let's see, this is going to be hard. I want everything to be small, but I do want to have this in place. That's not exactly in the right spot, but maybe it's okay. Get everything as compact as possible. See, no, I've let it grow too much now. This just makes a big mess. Okay, so don't make a big mess. Like, I think you can kind of see what I'm going for here, probably. Let's try this again. Doing that is of no help at all. I just need that indentation, and then I can leave this alone. I do want to get rid of as much of this as I can. It would be better if I would end up... not enough time. However, hey, look at this. Both of these are in such a everything is in such a state that 2 growths, if I can just manage these pressure plates. Yeah. I think I have something. Not really finishing my sentences, but you know what I mean. Just gotta clean up around some key areas. but that's impossible from here, so I have to stand... Okay, okay, got it. I know what I'm doing. Kinda. I need to have this smaller first, but that's probably impossible. How did I get into this state? I'm having a better feeling about this room than I was having about that tar room. Like, I thought I was close to solving the tar room. I think I'm even closer to solving this one, actually. I no longer think that I was close to solving the tar room when I thought I was. Now, see, this is not the best, but if I can constrain my work to just one area... actually... unlikely... I mean, almost. Kinda almost. If there were just a little less of that... Like, I can make some very high-value cuts there. That will make my job easier, significantly. I think. Don't turn around. Go straight over here so you can create that separation, except I can't. Here. Except those mud babies get in the way. So that's no good. Okay. This doesn't feel like the answer. No, that really doesn't feel like the answer. However... No, I can't get down there in time. Like, it's actually not far off. Oh hey, look at this magic. Did I just do it? No, because that happens. Right, of course, so I still have to cut those. And then I won't have enough time for the rest of this. Or will I? I might. I do. Hey! That's the correct pressure plate configuration. Okay, so I think I wasted a turn in there somewhere. Alright, so race down there. Top speed. I did it! Yeah! If I can just kill this mud mother quick enough. Couple of turns off. One turn, two turn, some turns off. Okay, hey, I may have solved a room. Maybe. Just maybe. Let's see. Yes! Yes! Yeah, I did it! Okay, that actually required not as much strategizing as the tar. Whoa! I got first place! Neat! Well, that's magical. By how much? By a lot. Take that, McSlatty. He will have taken that score tomorrow, almost certainly. That's the way it works. Okay, so, hey, suddenly I feel good about myself. I mean, that's a cycle-based room, so, you know, the scores are going to be off by a factor of however much. I should look at that demo again, do what I did, and optimize as much as I can to protect that first place. I will do that before this video goes up, if I can. Okay, well, neat. I solved a room and I got a first place. That did not teach me what I needed to know for doing this, because mud feels so much different from tar. Okay, so I'm going to have to come back and try the tar room again. I found the mud a little bit more manageable. Today, at least. Okay, cool. So, neat. Let's try this room a little bit more. So I didn't fully understand this room last time I looked at it. Let's reparse everything. So I remember there's a clockwise only rotation mechanism. Any other rotation does that. I get a spear. I have to have a spear. Bithro stands here. That closes this arrow and never opens it again, so once Bithro has stood there once and exited, he can't return. As soon as I step off this plate, this roach gets trapped there forever. As soon as this roach makes a brained move from there, he gets, well, traps me forever. And gets himself trapped forever, too. Since both the brained move and unbrained move want to go here. No matter where I stand in the room. Okay, so... without moving, I need to do something with mimics. It was suggested that this uses a similar mechanism to something in my hold. Oh, by the way, my hold has been published. I keep forgetting to mention that. Outings with a Delver is the name of it. It's on Caravelnet in case you want to play it. I'm thinking I might do an architect's commentary for it at some point, so you might see that after this, eventually. Anyway, sorry for that distraction. I've been told that this room uses a mechanism similar to something that I used in my own hold, so I might recognize the format of what I need to do here. So Brain needs to be continually stunned. Right while I'm in here. Because... yes, because this roach needs to make it all the way here before this one will die. This one can never make a brained move, so that brain needs to stay stunned. Since I have a spear, bump moves are not a way to do that. With a stick that could work, but with a spear it's going to have to be rotation, clockwise rotation. Well, yeah, I knew all this already. Something needs to be coming on and off this plate. Yeah, okay, so this is leading me to the same conclusions. I need to move this brain in here, have some kind of mimic chain, continually stun and move it when rotating clockwise. Okay, so... so I get 4 mimics. The thing is, oh hey, what was all this business? I don't really remember exactly. Maybe that's for like mimic positioning assistance. I can move those on, I can move those wherever I want until I've, that's not, yeah, that's true. I can move, well, as long as I don't rotate that way. Sure, I can move those however I want them to move. Okay, so I can play with the mirrors to my heart's content. Yeah, so I could easily set up a thing where I would, for example, watch this. Where I'd watch this, I would do something like, well, I don't want to drink that other potion yet. Well, okay, this isn't exactly what I was after, but I can make it happen still. So this mimic, turn that way. Okay, come on now. So that mimic on there. There we go. So he is, well, no, he's not trapped. He can do that. Anyway, so what I could do is to temporarily stash a mimic on one of these spaces by dropping the trapdoors, the 5 trapdoors in the other 3 directions, turning on that force arrow, then I can turn it back off afterward to move the mimic around if in case that assists with positioning. I'm thinking that might be what this mechanism is for. I can't see anything else to do with it yet. So I still need to think about what to do with this brain so that I can just rotate. Yeah, Bithro's options while in here are to input a bump move, which since I have a spear will not be helpful for, yeah, go away, potion. So my spear's inside a brain. I can't push it with a bump, I can only kill it. Well, okay, there was a potion there. But even so, If that's inside the brain, that just kills it. So bumping, yeah, I can bump, I can wait, and I can turn clockwise. Can't turn counterclockwise, can't move, can't do anything else. And I need to do something every turn. Just having a spear inside a brain and waiting does not re-stun it. I have to actually hit it again. So yes, every turn is going to be a W, a clockwise rotation. In the process of that, the brain has to be stunned every single one of those turns and has to be coming on and off of this, unless the thing coming on and off of that can be a mimic. Okay, so let's play with... Here's what I should do. This is what I said I was going to do when I was looking at this room first. There is way too much in this room. All of you go away. I don't need you. Alright, so the slight annoyance here is I have to set up a mimic with a... okay, here. So quick look at scripting. This character is based on mimic, or no, this character is based on mimic. I'm going to create mimic with spear, since that's not something I can do super easily. Default script is set var my weapon equals spear might be 2. I'm not sure what 2 is. 2 might be dagger. I'll try all the numbers just to see which one it is, and then turn into monster. I believe that's all that's necessary. Right, and I set this type to mimic with spear, make it visible. And now it's a mimic with a spear. I guessed 2 correctly. Okay, so I can place mimics with spears like that. So that means I can play around easily enough with stuff like this, where, you know, I can set up arrangements like, for example, one of these, and just play with what happens if I'm rotating clockwise this whole time. So I get 4 mimics. Weirdly enough, when I first place those characters, they don't appear to have a weapon. Then when I run the room once and unrun the room, they appear with a weapon. It's a little bit strange, the way it works. Yeah, no, I didn't want one there. Could I place, like... Yeah, you can't place stuff under that weapon. It remembers... It remembers... Oh, hey, that changed into a guard sword. Yeah, no, pick something without a sword. Yeah, okay, then that takes away the sword. But, like, it doesn't know that this is a... Well, now it does. Sorry, getting distracted by the oddities of the DROD editor. Let's try this again. So, a setup with 4 mimics that in a period 4 repeating cycle... See, the problem I have with... Okay, so the brain just has to move or get stunned every turn. It doesn't have to toggle the plate every turn. That can happen at a longer interval. So... Let's see. Alright, so one thing occurs to... Oh, hey! I see something. So, if something is there, 2 turns will push something. Okay, so this is cool. Maybe it's all that's necessary. Let's see if I can get away with this. So what'll happen here... Oh, multi-pushing. Of course multi-pushing is a thing. So what I wanted to happen was that at the end of this cycle here, there'd be a mimic here facing this way, ready to push that. Okay, so I do have to take multi-pushing... Right, 2 things I have to take into account. Multi-pushing and mimics pushing mimics. And those complicate things terribly. Now, how many... Do I need an infinite number of cycles here? Can I do this with a solution that has a finite number of cycles Secluded Sanctum. Finite number of cycles that doesn't have to necessarily loop. I need on, off, on, off, on, off. That sounds like I basically need to set up something with an infinite number of cycles. But maybe not. Like, if this were only 4, only on, off, then I would think I might be able to do something that that terminates, that doesn't successfully repeat more than 4 times. But with 6 toggles, it feels like I do need to repeat that many times. Okay. So, multi-push. A clockwise only multi-push that ends at the same position. Oh. So, okay, so turn order is a thing. There's this option. In a single turn that ends there. So then I would need... what, this? This, maybe? Nobody's pushing that at that point, though. Also, that never toggles the plate, because it comes off, it then goes back on during the same turn, and pressure plates release end of turn, so that doesn't work. I cannot be pushing the brain and then multi-pushing it back to the same spot in the same turn. That works for stunning it, but not for toggling the plate. So I do need to alternate its position. Ideally, this would actually have a period longer than 2 for getting off and back on the plate because of the setup. Man, I wish this did not change my location to testing area when I did that. I feel like the rules for when that happens are inconsistent because sometimes I can look at something in the editor and do something and then come back and my location will still be set to the hole I was just looking at. Okay, right, so because of this force arrow setup, so suppose the roach is here and this arrow is this way. This plate gets pressed with one action. I press the plate. The roach is now here. I swing again, and actually no, the roach can go here, because again, pressure plates release end of turn. Okay, so the plate is unoccupied. And force arrows are in that state. But yeah, like if I do that again, then this one closes, and the roach can't make progress. So it would be better if I could have, okay, so pressed, pressed, unpressed, unpressed, pressed, pressed, unpressed, unpressed. So like every 2, I would want the thing to toggle. That's just for optimality. That's not necessary for the solution. It can be any number of steps for that to be unpressed as long as the brain is always, for that to be toggled as long as the brain is always in motion. Now, if the brain always has to be in motion, unless I'm doing this kind of thing during a turn, which sounds unlikely. I mean, it could be part of the solution, but that's getting incredibly complicated. It's most likely that it will only be on the plate, holding still for 1 turn at a time, which is fine. So that again introduces inefficiency into this, in theory. Wow, it did it again. Introduces inefficiency into this. I guess I could just like set up this in my testing area, maybe. Right, that means more turns that this is going to have to keep repeating, which again points to an infinite chain of moves. So I need a fully repeatable pattern for this, I think. Okay, I feel like I've done basically all of the conceptual thinking I can do with this. I just need to get in there and actually work through some situations, see if I can make a mimic setup that does the job for that. And that's going to be largely trial and error on my own. So yeah, I think I'll do that on my own. I'll come back with at least a little bit more insight or maybe a theory on how to do it. If not, I can work on this some more, I can work on that tar room and the great puzzle some more, possibly. But hopefully I'll come up with something there if I can find any free time to do it at all. That's the real challenge. Like, yeah, sure, I know I can solve these things if I sit there and stare at them for an hour or two and just figure out what I need to do, but finding that hour or two is the hardest part here. Anyway, yeah, so, I mean, it's a progress. I solved a room, I analyzed another one, so I'll see you next time to hopefully take this on for real.